Oh, sir.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, oh, yes, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, yes. Ooh, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Cozy boy. Cozy. Cozy boy. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'll take that. That was nice. I'm gonna take that. That was nice. That was a nice little groove. Nice little groovy tune. Nice little groovy tune. Here we go. Here we are. Ahead of schedule by a mile. Yes. Day 47. I'm Terrence Taylor. This is MiSuNDERStoOd. This is Terrence Talk Too Much International. Speaking and coaching. September the 16th. 7:42 a.m. I'm here to finish strong, baby. I'm here to finish strong. Action. Action snap. Action snapper. I'm cozy because Hurricane Lee is outside right now doing damage. And I will be honest, I would like to get this done as soon as possible. The last thing that I would like to have is for the power to go out with all of this on and operating. Hard drive would go wonky. This audio would be likely gone. Too many hard drives plugged into the computer for it to just shut off. It's all terrifying as a tech nerd. So we're going to try to get through this as lovely and awesomely, and smoothly without a power outage. Fingers crossed. Welcome. Hi, Terrence Taylor. I'm here. I'm feeling good. It's the 47th day. I can ask for nothing more than the good feelings that I have in and within me. I have turned the microphone down a smidge and the headphones up much louder. Not much, but I am just trying to do as much as I can to make sure that this sounds how it does. I found some of my and other words I was saying yesterday were a bit louder. Ew. Yeah, just tech stuff. Nothing that you care about. What you're really here for. This topic is, I got one today. It's fresh. So I'm fair warning you that I almost wanted to save it, and I wanted to save it for maybe an A's and Q's when I could think through it a bit, but even not to save it for something else. There's a bit of thinking and processing in and amongst this subject that, yeah, it's a hefty one today. Uh, and I'm going to talk about watching The Shy and watching a mom and their child do a therapy session together, and how beautiful and triggering that truly was. That's what I have for you today. But before we get to that traumatic ass topic, jeez, that's wow loud. Housekeeping. Oh yeah, I got these headphones up way too loud. It doesn't matter. It's not actually impacting the quality of the sound in the microphone. I'm just really loud in my own ears right now. Oh, and I can't reach. I can't reach. Housekeeping for today includes a few nods, a few things. First of all, camera 4 is not there, and I will not be wrestling with camera 4. I know I said when I received the slide module that I would have camera 4 up and running by Monday. Is not going to happen. Clearly, it's Saturday. I wasn't getting as much value from it in the position that it was in. And what I've concluded is I need to get that motion somewhere else. I think what makes a bit more sense is that this camera 3, should give me the stationary, tight look that I wanted from camera 4. Maybe it's there, maybe it's somewhere else, but I think the tight close up on a tripod makes more sense. There's a bit wider shot that I actually think ends up being camera 3 that's maybe in motion, or I have to put a camera here. There's only a few places I can even play around with something on the floor that came up and moved, something a bit higher that moved. I don't think these center shots, maybe the wide one on the bottom, but that's not, I guess. It's just boring. It feels boring. And I don't necessarily, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know what my dynamic shot is yet. And I don't want to tear this place apart trying to figure that out, because it really could be in 3 to 5 different places. And I'm going to deal with that after day 50. I just can't do it now. And it doesn't make sense. And I don't think the value of it at this point is worth the time and effort that I'm going to put in for these last few days. It's just not ideal or the best use of my time. So I'm going to take a bit more time to figure out what that needs to be and what that needs to look like. And then I'll go from there. Camera 4 will be back. Yeah, somehow, some way. I'll be back soon. Golly. What does this say? Red flash button. Oh, remember I told you that my hard drive was being weird and the screen was flashing, and then I checked what the flashing meant, and it meant that there was something to do with the frames, the amount of images per second that the video compiles. It was none of that. It was absolutely none of that. Yesterday when I was recording, I think I was on somewhere between the second and the third session. I looked at the keyboard interface device switcher, and I saw that sometimes I lay things on top of that keyboard interface switcher because it's there and it's flat and it's a space. Apparently, when I did that last, I pushed in a button that actually got stuck. The buttons are rubber, so they move and morph, and if you've ever seen one of these types of buttons, you kind of push it down and it can get wedged underneath the top panel and then it can be stuck down. And in fact, that's what happened. And the button that was stuck was the stop recording button of all buttons to be stuck. So I'm surprised that the recording even continued. I don't know. I'm thankful. And I unclicked that, and yeah, the third session yesterday. Maybe it was a second, but it was sometime yesterday in between all of what was happening, because I was taking the hard drive out and then putting it on the computer to check it to make sure, all right, does anything weird happen? Is the footage all good? And in that back and forth, I noticed it. The final session yesterday, no flashing. Today, 10 minutes in, no flashing. So problem resolved. Sometimes it just ends up being something weird and random and completely avoidable and accidental. And I'm glad it was that. And I'm glad that all of our footage, is safe. I did some math. Because of my moving of hard drives and organizing of things, I did some numerical calculations on the folders on the computer. And I'm up 9 episodes. 47 days plus 9 episodes. There's 56 pieces of content currently in the stash. I feel really good about that. That's awesome. It's very awesome. I'm thinking about maybe doing one more episode today after this. One more A's and Q's. I'll tell you a bit more about where I'm at in that shortly. But for the sake of whole numbers, to be up 10 would be really great. And the goal was 12 to 15. So double up tomorrow. Monday, I'm gonna do 4 episodes on Monday. That's my plan. And that'll be 3. Double up on the Tuesday. That's 5. 4 plus today plus tomorrow, 6. So 6 plus 9, 15. I love it. 50 days, 65 pieces of content. That's great. I lied. It's flashing again. Damn it. I don't know what's going on. I spoke too soon. I'm happy with those numbers. And there's episodes of things that I didn't even get a chance to do. I still need to do another episode of I Want My Change. That original pilot episode that was done the 17th, it was done a month ago. It's a nice bit of time away from it to look at it and review it and see what to do with it. I'm excited about doing that. But yeah, we got some shit. We got some serious shit in the stash. I said I would get into overdrive this week. I'm so glad I took that midweek break, Tuesday into Wednesday. Almost an extended weekend, it felt like. And that reset has really set me into a really positive flow. And I'm finished strong. That's what I had on the board today. Yeah, I'm here for it. I earlier thought, I'll just do this today and I'll be done. But no, I could do another. I like 10 on a Saturday. As long as there's power, I'm going. Ooh, maybe we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited about the work, the workload, the output, the care, the bit of a plan that I've had to come up with in order to be able to execute at this rate, which that's exactly the plan. I've done. Ooh, we were excited about back-to-backs, 2 episodes in a day. the last 2 days, I've done 3 episodes in a day. Woke up, went to bed early, 9:30. Woke up 4:30. 3 episodes in, and it's very doable. It's incredibly doable. It should have been done earlier, and I figured out through the last 2 days how to do it more efficiently, and ultimately to be able to do 4 episodes in a day, 4 pieces of content in a day. I where are they? All of my A's and Q's cards, they're the same as the I want my change cards, but I need to write. I need to properly structure the story I have to structure the answer as a story. So as I go through that process, I'm thinking about a million things. I take all the ideas that I have and then I organize them together and come up with a plan. What I was realizing, so I'd start with the question and then I would just blurb anything I thought about, anything that was important. Then I numbered it. Then I went through and organized each of those ideas into a category. Then I organized each number into the category. And then I crafted the story based on the order in which I thought the power was going out. The light just went out. I don't know what. That was really weird. Yeah, tell the story based on however I piece the story together based on the subjects and the points and ideas, and that's how I go through it. That takes time. And what I was doing was record an episode, take a break, find a A's and Q's question, go through this process, record the episode, take a break, get the next question, go through this process, record, be done. Sure, makes sense until you realize, oh, this is the plan. So what I need to do, in fact, is sit down and write 2, 3, 4 of these at a time. And if I do that, then the only thing I really have to consider is wardrobe change. And I can sit down and do 2, 3, 4 episodes. Off we go. And what I was finding was the time it was taking, the brain power it was taking to do this, I didn't have it in me creatively to do it again immediately. It almost felt like I needed to stay in the thought process of what I had just written in order to deliver it the way that I felt would be best. And although I do still believe that makes sense, if instead, say you write 4 of those on a Sunday and then you come in and record on a Monday, well, the freshness of the idea in your mind isn't there. You get a chance to step away from it, come back to it with fresh thoughts, fresh eyes. Maybe you tweak it and change it and reorganize it, or you remembered a thing that you can add and increase that part or enhance that part of the story. So that's what my plan's going to be for Monday. Tomorrow is Sunday, so I'm going to look at the questions I've already answered, figure out in terms of subject matter and topics and questions, are they diverse? Are there, some of them, 2 of them have been about video production and my style. All right, cool. One of them was a personal one about my purpose, my why. Okay. I have a few about parenting that I would like to figure out which one to approach. And I have a few others that are kind of random that I don't even remember. So I need to go through, figure out what those are, see what's missing, and then compile the final piece of that. Because what I look back, I have 6 episodes of A's and Q's. I didn't even realize that. First of all, I was saying pilot episode 4 and 5 yesterday, when in fact, apparently that was 5 and 6. I found one from September 7th, and then apparently I did another one on September 8th. And I got 6. So I need to figure out what those 6 questions are. And a little 10-pack would be dope to release with 8 to 10 questions of all diverse magnitudes and thought processes and subject matter to have kind of just accidentally. I'm down with it. I'm super down with it. And I want my change. That is how all of this began. That I'm going to go back and reconfigure. But the beauty is that all came from A's and Q's came from that. That question segment was extracted and created to be its own thing. And now we'll have 10 episodes, 8 to 10 episodes of this thing that was a part of this other thing. Nah, it's better off over here. Who would have thought I could answer a question this thoroughly and interestingly for 25, 35, 45, 50 minutes? I would not have imagined that. But yeah, and talk about being a coach and a speaker and a consultant. Nah, people are going to have inquiries. Share those. Make that specific over here. Thanks, Joe Budden Podcast, for the part of the show segment that you have, which is your top tier in Patreon. Someone pays the most. They get the ability to submit questions and ask you, and maybe you'll answer them on the air. Well, that model got extracted and created as its own thing. Thank you. Same, but different. My 3%. That's what we should all be doing, really. So I don't know how y'all take from this and do with it, but you should be. I hope that you do. I hope you find tremendous success in whatever the hell that is. But yeah, truth is, go out there and make some shit. Learn, keep working, keep going, come up with a plan. Do. That's the beauty of all of this has been, yeah, there's a plan, but a lot of it at certain points, I'm just creatively just doing and going with it. And that's it. And the process continues to be refined. But this has been this since maybe 12. So cool, get a plan, work it, refine it, figure it out, make another plan. Work that plan, refine it, extract from it, create a new plan. Work that. Cool, come up with system. And once I do this for this, it was tremendously easy to come up with the plan for A's and Q's because I already had a plan for MiSuNDERStoOd and I already had a plan for I Want My Change. They're all different. But fundamentally, structurally, they're also very different, but they exist as structures that have a loose similarity and a consistency. Yay. Oh. If there's one thing I've enjoyed from this is the true formulation of the plan. It must be written down. It must be articulated clearly. I can take these cards. I do these episodes, A's and Q's. I have 4, 5, 6 note cards. I could take that and give that to somebody and somebody read it and go, oh, wow, this was probably really interesting. Yeah. That feels good. That feels really good too. So we home stretching it right now. 47, 48, 49, 50. Probably going to keep recording after, tucking it in the stash, This feels so good and therapeutic. I don't want to stop. And that part's even more exciting. Why? Why stop? It's fun. You love it and you're getting better at it every day. For what? Keep going. Just keep going. Just keep doing it. Yeah. Yeah. That's the plan. Yay. I don't really have to deep dive into this as much as I want to now. Here we go. Man. Okay. So, as I already prefaced, I'm a bit nervy about this topic and the subject because it's very fresh. And I don't know even what I want to say about it. So, it's very personal. It's very traumatic. It's very triggering. So I'll do my best to navigate these feelings. I have feelings, they are being felt, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that, nor do I want to. So here we are. I love The Shy. I love The Shy, the show The Shy on Showtime. The show The Shy, Showtime on. The show The Shy on Showtime. It's 6 seasons of life as Black people in Chicago. So many different perspectives of Black family, Black men, Black boys, Black women, Black girls, Black trans women, relationships, older, younger, rich, poor, drugs, legal. It's everything. Fucking show's incredible. And it started off following 3 young boys, Papa, Kev, and oh man, I feel terrible. I can't remember the other dude's name with the super long dreads. Anyway, the 3 of them in school and their life and what's happening. And Kev has a sister. The sister eventually has a relationship with Emmett. I love Emmett. Emmett is Jacob Lattimore in real life. And Keisha is, oh man, Keisha's story is wild. She was kidnapped and then sexually assaulted and had a baby through a bruh, wild. And their mother is gay and had children with a man, obviously, made babies. Kevin and Keisha at this point, they just graduated. They just had their prom, so they're in high school. Graduating high school, Keisha's maybe early 20s. So there's so many layered stories of life, being Black, having kids, being with somebody who also has kids. There's co-parenting situations all over the place. It it's a very robust and diverse depiction of the Black experience, and not done in some cheesy way that, although it's definitely a Black show, but it doesn't feel like a Black show, if you know what I mean. And episode 7, season 6, Keisha is going through her therapy journey, which I absolutely can identify with. And she's sitting talking to her therapist about the relationships that she's had with men and how to go about those more positively. And then therapist says, well, what would you think about maybe having your mom come join us for a session? And she goes, "Ooh, no, no way. Like, this is my safe healing space. And nah, this is for me." The therapist goes, "Well, if you're hurting all these relationships with men, you have to realize that the person who hurt you most and first was your mom." And Keisha has this moment of like, "Oh shit." And then you could see her see how the relationship with her mother has shown up in her relationships with men. So you kind of see her kind of dial a bit back from, "Hell no, I'm not doing that," to, "Hmm, okay." Boom, cuts to a few minutes later. Therapist in the middle. I love the cinematography. Therapist is in the middle, sitting there on a couch across. Keisha on this side, Mama on that side. And it starts off, Mom's all stiff and closed off and doing her typical, I don't know, Keisha's mom's probably in her 50s, late 40s, maybe 50s. And standard Black woman behavior of that age and of that era. Therapy, ew, no. Ugh. I had to do all this for y'all and y'all don't understand, blah, 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 blah. And therapist says to her, "Yo, talk to her like she's not your daughter. And tell her something that you've never told her before. That's a truth of yours." So mom has a moment and says, "Well, in my day and age, being a good daughter meant having kids and getting married. And that's not really what I wanted. But I played the role as good daughter, and now I have two kids." Keisha looked at her like, "Wait, hold on. You're saying you didn't want us?" And the mom was like, "Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there was pressure societally to be a certain person and to present as with a certain expectation. And but no, you just said I didn't want y'all." And then I started, obviously, because I could see this conversation as like visibly, I could see this conversation as my mom and my sister having it. I could definitely see me in that same seat. And I came back to, um, well, one, I've asked my own mother to sit down and have the therapy conversation. She's been a nurse for 3 decades, so she understands the medical health world and also the importance and the impact of therapy. It's not new or surprising to her, considering her experience in the medical field. Okay, cool. And I've asked her to do that, and I that that's that was never accepted. And I had a really hard time with that because I'm like, "Yo, I'm your kid. I shouldn't be the one trying to take you to therapy. You're the fucking adult. You should be able to see, and I have expressed the things about this that as an adult, our relationship has to change. We need to acknowledge some things so that we can move forward in a healthy manner." And then you see that that invitation was denied. And for years has been not accepted. And then you go, oh, well, let me think about how I was treated. How did I feel as a child? Alone a lot. Some of the basic needs that extended beyond the home didn't really exist. We had, but I didn't have. And I had this realization of like, man, I don't think my mom liked me. I felt like I was a burden and a responsibility and an obligation, like a chore, a thing that had to be done and dealt with. So when things like, oh, can I have some money to go to the arcade? No. Hey, can I get this? Can I go to this cool thing with my friends? No. Or sure, figure out how to like, never got drives anywhere on earth that weren't on the way to or so I kind of see these moments of all right, it didn't feel fun, didn't feel like you wanted to. And then I see this woman of who, by the way, in some very oddly similar physical comparisons, she kind of looks like my mom also. So now I'm seeing this woman sit on the couch across from her kid and say, I didn't really want kids. And then I look at my own life and I track some very specific things. And I go, oh, you didn't want kids. And you know that if we go and sit in front of a therapist, you're going to have to do what Keisha's mom just did and say out loud, yo, I didn't want you guys. Maybe not you guys, but I could track my life path and go, well, my dad left pretty quickly and never spoke to him. And they met in university and they were both athletes. Okay. He didn't care. She didn't chase him down. And then she got a new man and her and the new man were together for a really long time. And they never had babies until they weren't together anymore. That kind of sounds like an accident too. Okay. Well, if throughout all of this, I, yeah, I just start putting shit together in my head as a 35-year-old with enough time and space to look back, both personally, emotionally, but also very objectively. I like the fact there's some facts and some things that are you just can track them. Hey, can you stay home and not go to the casino every night? I would just like to know that my mom is in the house and not me sleeping alone as a kid every night. No? Okay. Then you think of that time and that era of person. I'm like, oh man, I don't shouldn't laugh at that. I don't think my mom really wanted to have kids. I begged for a sibling my whole life. I didn't get one until I was 13. I love my sister, but from a mathematical objective perspective, you go, I don't know if that was supposed to happen. With all things in consideration. And now you want to say, well, I'm sure everyone's glad we have this beautiful child and they're here in this world. But from another perspective, you go, no, I can see how that's annoying now. Hey, I was almost, and this is fucking sad. But I've heard my mother say she was excited about empty nest syndrome because she just didn't want a house full of kids. And you're like, oh fuck. Yeah, she didn't want children. I do hope she sees this at some point in time so that she can maybe have a bit of calm in the conversation that we don't have to have, or that it's not as much of a surprise to me. Because I used to think, oh man, maybe she didn't, maybe she resented me because I look like my dad and that didn't work and there's trauma behind and through that. But yeah, no, if she looks at me and sees him and she sees some shit that, from my perspective, I don't want nothing to do with none of that shit. This man went off and had a whole other family, 3 kids, happy life. He had a baby before he had me, so he wasn't really doing what he was supposed to be doing, out here dicking them down. Now she got a baby with a dude who ain't really trying to take care of him. Now fuck this man and fuck this baby. No, I can see how someone could land there. Yeah, it was it was it was both beautiful to see because I've never been able to see that story told that way. That's why I love The Shy, because it th- they've done an incredible job of showing the truth in some of the challenges in the Black experience. And they articulate it in ways that are so profound, that are so beautiful, that are so necessary for us to see and experience and connect with. Where I look at that and I go, yeah, I can, that tracks. And clearly it's a conversation that this person doesn't want to have with you because you've tried to have it and it's never been had. And if it's that conversation, I see why. All right. So I've been sitting with that. I'll probably talk to my therapist about it. I probably should sooner than later. I'm okay with it though. I'm not surprised by it, and I actually feel a tremendous amount of uh, I don't. This first of all, this is me assuming everything. I don't know any of this to be true, but I'm also pretty smart, and I have 35 years of a lived experience and enough data collected to be able to make a pretty fair assessment. And if this person wasn't my mother, I would have come to the very same conclusion just much sooner and not felt a way about it, because you want to give your parent grace. I know people who've had this conversation with their parents and they felt great after it and it helped move them forward with that relationship, and cool. I could see how that'd be really awesome. Don't know if I want to do that. I'm sure I would be. I'm obviously open to it, but I don't know if anything said would change my perspective because I have a lived experience. Things would have to be done very differently. There's nothing that could be said now that would change my mind, convince me of anything else, or make me believe any more what I already believe. I yeah, okay, got it. Oh man, that's why I wanted love in random wet holes throughout the world. Just wanted somebody to act like they actually gave a shit about me and wanted me around. And if I could get inside of your vagina, God, you must have wanted me around at least for a little bit. Yeah, that's why you have empty sex with lots of women, because your mom didn't show you basic care and love and appreciation. Oh, yeah, okay, got it. Duh, there's other things. But if you track it way back, yeah, it's that would make sense. That would make perfect sense. So I'm gonna deep dive this at a later date with a trained professional. I hope I hope other people who are parents maybe hear this and find a way to have a conversation with their kids, because your fucking kid is hurting and is in pain and is sad and has feelings, especially as a black man and a black boy who is abandoned physically, and both physically being there and emotionally abandoning, but also packing up and moving to other countries and other places and leaving this child with somebody else. That's happened a few times. So if you're a parent and you have the patience and the willingness to be honest and then shut the fuck up and let your kid feel how they need to feel, if you can do that, that'd be so cool. If you can't, if you should find a way to maybe do that if you care about your kid. If you don't, then you'll probably do what my mother's done and not give a fuck and continue to show that they don't give a fuck. My house is shaking. This fucking hurricane is real. And if you're a kid and you are open to taking your parent up to that, um, do some serious healing before entering into that. I've been doing it for years and I'm not ready to do it. But know who your parent is, and if you can even get there, and if you can't get there, then is there a way to help someone else that can help them get there? Is there a way to do that? If it matters, is it worth all that work as the child to repair the relationship with your parent? If you want it that bad, if you feel like what you're going to get at the end of that is worth it, sure, that'd be awesome. I hope everybody who can and will should, and that they do, and that they get from that what they want. But if you know your parent is not emotionally ready for that, and you know that it's going to be a traumatic experience and a re-traumatization, is that right? You'd be re-traumatized again? You know what I mean? By opening up this Pandora's box, then maybe save yourself the hurt and pain. Find a way to come to some sort of resolution and conclusion and truth to yourself. Again, I don't know if any of this is factually true. And I don't know if I asked this question if I'd ever get the truth. And the fact that I have come to that conclusion is all I need to know. And maybe someday. But until that day, I thank art. I thank the shy. I thank Black storytellers. I think I thank and appreciate showing some of what the Black experience is that hasn't and isn't consistently shown. A lot of fucking drug dealing, murder movies and shows. Finding success and healthy versions of Black love and Black family. Not really as sexy on television, but I'm glad it exists. I hope to see more of it. Hope to be a part of creating more of it. Not I hope to. I intend to be a part of creating more of it. That part is cool. Yeah, and healing. Sending love to everybody who is on their healing journey, and even more love to those of you who aren't quite there yet because you need it more than us. We there, and even if we stumbling, at least we on the road. Y'all not even on the road yet, so come on, invite you over here. It feels better to be healed, even if the initial is some pain you never felt before. Once you cut that shit open and you go in there and surgically repair it properly, how you get back to life after that is different than slapping a fucking band-aid on some bullshit. Nah, this is real life. These are real scars. This takes some real healing. So I hope everybody finds it in themselves to heal, is excited to heal, and if they're not excited to heal, that they get there. I hope everybody gets there because we all need it. Big time. I'm Terrence Taylor. This is MiSuNDERStoOd. This is September 15th, 16th, September 16th. I got to go get some snacks, and I think my garbage can is rolling around out front. This hurricane's for real, and I'm gonna tie this place down. I hope you have a great day. I hope you rest, relax, heal yourself. Heal yourself, yo. Go take care of yourself. Love yourself. Do it. Ain't nobody else gonna do that shit. Not better than you, at least. Okay, I forgot one thing. There's one thing that I do want to add that I forgot to say. That has been, how do I say this? It's been a challenge. It's been a struggle and a weird kind of acceptance of. There's the narrative that men fuck and make babies and just run off in life, and that men are the only people that can make babies and not care about them. And I never really, I never, sure, you see it in movies and shit where you see some crackhead lady with her baby who cares more about doing drugs and all right, fine, in that extreme example. But I'm not really familiar with seeing women who have kids and don't want them, don't care for them. And I think it's, for me, it's wrapping my mind around the fact that, oh, this person who carried this child for 10 months, made them, typically women have a possessiveness over the child for that reason. Like, no, I grew it. You just came here, dropped off some sperm. You didn't have to push this thing out, deal with the pains and the cramps and everything that comes with carrying and growing a baby. Got it. Mother Nature. Again, nobody on earth can create the way that women can. So I totally understand the possessive mindset. I understand the my babiness. I totally get that. And I guess because I've seen that, and that kind of narrative has existed a bit more profoundly than women who have kids and don't want them. It just, yeah, it's been hard to frame my mind around that. Like, obviously, people have kids and give them up for adoption. So, yes, obviously, there's people who have kids and don't want them. Who knows what all those circumstances are, obviously. But yeah, yeah, it's been hard for me to see and accept that. And sure, you can make it general and broad that a woman would have a baby and not want to have it and keep it and take care of it. sure, as a general sentiment, but for you to have to accept that and believe that as your own personal reality is very different. It's tremendously different. And I think for me, it's one, shifting my perspective from, oh no, that can be true, and the next step to being, oh, and that can be true for you. I think it's that part. It's easy for me as a dad to say, yo, I'm going to stick around because my dad didn't care. But the sentiment of a mom sticking around, like when do we even hear about that? Moms sticking around. It's not even we don't even, that's not even the phrase. And when I see that, yeah, my mom, my perception and understanding and belief is, and observation is, she had to stick around, especially because my dad didn't stick around. And any moment she had to not stick around, she didn't. And me just accepting that for what it is. You try to grant your parents grace and shoot them some bail, and yeah, okay, but maybe, or give them excuses and apologize for their behavior, and or it's just that, or that's the truth, which, yeah, tougher pill to swallow, but real. So yeah, of all the things that I was thinking about, that was the one part that I think I missed, and or didn't speak necessarily as clearly about. Yeah, I think yeah, we want to believe that all women want to have babies and want to care for them, and their mothering and their nurturing and all of what we are told that women are and what women possess, and et cetera, et cetera. You don't want to believe that your own mom doesn't have that. Nobody wants to see their parent as someone who doesn't like them or want them, let alone love them. We're not even there yet. You can't get to love if you don't like or want. So, yeah. And this is not like a pro bashing women thing. I'm not here to shit on women in general. And I'm not even here to shit on my own mother. I'm just observing and having to challenge what I believed, and then look at where that came from and why I believed it in the first place. So I think that's all that I had from that. I think that's it. Hope that helped clear that out. If not, they're more unclear, unfiltered, emotional, personal thoughts about something that I should be talking to my therapist about.
Hmm. My daddy makes out. And his name is Terrence Taylor. And I took those pictures.